Okay, welcome everybody to the broadcast today. I actually want to address a question and a thought I get from clients a lot, which is, does Volusion have any options to speed up my product adding? And I know some of you who are here live with me actually know this for a fact, that when you're adding individual products into Volusion, one by one, it feels a little slow. And usually you'll ask me, hey, is there a way to speed this up? Can we do this on a grander scale? And the answer is yes and no. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Yes, there are some tools and options for it, and I'm going to show you that today. I say no because I still think adding products individually is going to be your best option. But if you need to make bulk edits on products, maybe you need to change prices very quickly, or you want to do meta tags very quickly, or whatever the case may be, there's other ways to do that, and I'm going to share that with you guys today. All right. So here's my first thing. My first point is, some of you guys will have suppliers out there. I know I've talked with some of you guys directly about this, but some of you guys will have suppliers out there that will offer services where for a certain fixed price, and sometimes even for free, they'll allow you to use their API, and they'll feed products directly into your Volusion store. Their whole pitch to you is, hey, we've got 1,000 products or 10,000 products, and if we can connect our systems together through an API of some sort, we can feed all of our product information into your site. Now that sounds very attractive on the surface, but there's two problems with that. One, I promise it never is as smooth as it sounds. A lot of times there's a lot of problems with connecting the two. Things don't add in all that well. I've been through it 100 times with clients before. It's not a smooth connection, and I think it's more of a sales point for certain suppliers. And then two, if you do it that way and you load in a ton of products at once, there's a really good chance you're going to get a Google penalty in your rankings, because everything's going to be copied. It's not going to be original content. It's going to look a little fishy, and that could hurt us from a marketing standpoint. So I would rather you guys never use those at all. Rather just manually import and input products into your site. However, that being said, there are some really neat tools in Volusion that can make this better, okay? So let me show you one right off the bat. You can see my screen. I'm on Uptown Pearl right now, and I've logged into their administrative area, which is here, and I'm going to go to the product section, okay? Now, Uptown Pearl has about 75 products, and there's one thing you need to know when you go to products on Volusion. It's going to look a little differently to you depending on what setting you have selected. There's two settings right here. This is setting number 1. I'm circling it. I know it's kind of small, but work with me. That's number 1. This is setting number 2. Okay, number 2. I'm not sure what yours will default to, but you'll default to either number 1 or number 2. Okay. Number 1 setting, if I click on it, your products display like this in kind of a table format. So you see them that they look like this. So you can kind of scroll down and see the pictures. And anyway, that's one way it'll display. If you want to do more like mass editing and mass adjustments, you want to change that to this option, which is setting 2. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that, setting 2 there. And that's going to load up. And you'll notice this is called the list view. So it changed the view a little bit. You get a smaller image, but you get more information in this sort of table view. It's got more of a table look because you've got these column headings right here. Okay, so the headings go as follows. It's product code, main image, product name, product price, categories, stock status, hidden, or delete. Yours may show up with different defaults, but that's what this particular site shows up with, okay? At any time, if I wanted to edit this on a mass scale, I could come in here to say product name. Okay, watch me roll my mouse over product name and hit edit. And then in this list view, I can actually come in here and physically edit the product names on all of these at once. So I'm not going in to edit each individual product, changing the name, saving, and then going over and finding another product, changing the name, save. If I wanted to change the names on these very quickly, I edit under product name, this heading, this particular column, and I come through here and I start making changes, right? Whatever. I'd start typing this stuff in if I wanted to change these names. Once I'm done changing whatever I need to, I just come right up here, click the little save button right there, and I'm done, and it'll save all the stuff at once, okay? I'm actually not going to save because I don't want to change these names, but you get the idea. So I can also do that on product price here. Product price, I can hit edit. So if I'm wanting to edit prices very quickly, I can come right in here and I could change this to $185, and then this one to $33.99, and then this one's on sale for $18.49 or whatever it is, and I can quickly change those, and then I can come back up to the top and hit that save button again. So you see how I can quickly make changes to my products. It's kind of a neat way to do it. There are other columns here, right? You've got the categories column. I can put things in categories very quickly that way. As long as I know what the categories are, you need to know the category ID numbers. You can find out category ID numbers by going to inventory, categories, and then view list, and you can see all the IDs from there. Maybe I'll just show that to you real quick because I know some of you guys will want to mass edit categories. So inventory, categories, and then I'm going to come up here to the top, view list, this option right here. And then once I click on view list, it's going to show me all of my categories and all of their associated category numbers. These are the numbers right here at the left. Okay. So if I wanted to file some of my products into the specials category right here, the number is 1515. Okay. Now I might write that down on a piece of scratch paper, 1515, and specials are aligned. And then I'd come back here to products, and I could quickly, with this list view that I'm looking at right here, I could edit the category numbers, and I could come in here and I could drop comma 1515, comma 1515. So now these two products that I edited, 1817, I don't know which category that is, but it's probably like the necklaces category. And then I separated it by a comma, and then I added in 1515. So now this product is going to show up in both of those categories. And it's really cool, right? Because I can come in here really fast and just pick which ones I want to put in that category. 1515, put it in the little field there, and then I'm good. And it quickly does it all for me. Instead of, the alternative is you're clicking on each individual product and you're changing the category. That could be time consuming and cumbersome if you're trying to do this on a larger scale. Right? And I'm talking, if you guys have a couple hundred products or more, right? And you want to run a special and you want to put 15 of those 200 products in the specials place, this is how you would do it right here. You do it very quickly instead of editing each individually. You'll notice to the right here, there's a stock status category. A lot of you guys don't use stock, I think, because you're doing drop shipping, so you sort of have unlimited stock. Now, let me show you some other cool stuff with this. Notice this little vertical dot icon up here. Okay, you guys see that? Vertical dots. By the way, whoever's here live with me, have you guys done some of this before? Like, have you mass edited anything on Volusion, or is this all pretty brand new? I'm guessing it probably is, but I'd be curious to hear what you guys say. So I'm going to click on these dots here. And I can actually come in here and customize columns. Okay? So customize columns. And I can change the way this looks. If I want to see more than 25 per page, I could have, 500 products per page show up. So I can see everything at once, right? If I've got 150 products, I could do 150 at once. Maybe I can make the font size small or large. I'll leave it at large. Screen width, let's keep that at 100%. And then you can change the columns. This part is actually really cool. So let's pretend for a minute you're in the marketing stage and you're doing meta tags, and you want to do, your meta tag titles all at once. I can select meta tag titles here. You see that? This was blank before, I just selected it. If I select that, and then let's pretend for a minute that I don't care anymore about, stock quantity or whatever. So I could come down here and stock status right here I could get rid of. And maybe I don't want to see the hidden section because I'm not hiding any products. But instead, I'd rather see like meta tag title and meta tag description. I can apply these changes. And the next time I see this list format here, notice that I have all my products listed and I get the meta tag description and title for each. So I could come in here to the meta tag description and I could write out a description on each of my products very, very quickly this way, right? Right? I would, we're not here to talk about what should go in the descriptions. We can do that another time, but I could write one there, and then I could come and write one here, and I could come and write one here, and then I can come do my titles. I put my mouse over it, hit edit, and I could do the same with my meta titles. So again, if you ever want to do things on a grander scale, much easier to edit, you can certainly do that right here. I think it's a really cool way to be more efficient inside Volusion as opposed to just listing and changing each item one at a time. I guess I do want you to list one at a time, but in mass edits, this is the way to go about it. Now, there's another cool option I want to show you guys real quick. I've done this before in a training, but I want to show it to you on this store right here. This is a test store I've got. I don't recommend using this as much, but here under inventory and import export, there's actually an option here for me to import in a file that has product information that can upload a lot of products at once. Now, I've done this in another training. We're not going to do it today, only because it's kind of a lengthy process, and so I'll refer you to another training on it. But there is a way for you to add products instead of adding them into Volusion one at a time. You could add them to a spreadsheet for those of you guys who are comfortable with spreadsheets, and then mass import them into Volusion. Now, you'd still have to individually load product images in, most likely, which is okay. But you could at least get all of your titles and your prices and your descriptions all in there at once using a spreadsheet. So I'm a little hesitant on this because I'll tell you what, only if you're a little more advanced and you understand spreadsheets would I ever really recommend this. Because otherwise, you can cause some problems if you do the spreadsheet wrong or you import something that doesn't work quite right. We could potentially lose some of our products. I won't talk much more about this today. If that's of interest to you, we've got another training on it, but this section can do some things on a more massive scale. But I will say this, and this is the caveat I'll throw out there before we finish up today. I wouldn't use this, honestly, and I rarely do on any of my sites. I prefer the good old-fashioned one at a time, because you can do one at a time in 3 or 4 minutes a piece. You can go pretty quickly on it, and I don't think this saves all that much time. I really don't. In fact, I would argue it may cause more problems than it's worth, but on some sites and in some circumstances, this might be a good option for you. In essence, all you do is you export out your current list, and you can see I'm on the import tab, but I could go to a standard export here. If I had a bunch of products in here, I could export those out into a spreadsheet. real easily. So export from, I would come down here and export from my products. And then I would check all the columns that would apply. And I'll tell you which ones you'll want to check. I should probably just list them right here. I'll just put them in a list here so you have them. These would be your columns in your spreadsheet. So you'd want to export out the product name, the code, the price, the weight, the product description, and then the product categories or category. Okay, those 6 columns are what you need when you export. So I would come back over here and I'd find those. So product code is here. Product name is here. Let's find description. Product description is right here. See, it's a big, massive, long list. This probably looks kind of hairy to a lot of you guys, but it's really not too bad. Product's weight here. We need product price, which is here. I know there's other price options, but this one's the one you want, product price, currency in quote or in parentheses. I think we've got them all right. Code, name, price, weight, description. Oh, categories we need. Category IDs right here. Okay. Anyway, so we select all of our columns that we want. We want the basics. File format, most of you guys want to use this CSV, comma delimited text file. It can export out as a spreadsheet. And then hit export. And literally, if I hit export, it'll export out a file for me that I can load into a spreadsheet. I can then edit all of those columns. I could add in a bunch of products and then import it. And that would load products in all at once. For the sake of time, I won't do that. And plus, that's a little beyond the scope of what I wanted to talk about today. But I hope you guys can see some of the options that Volusion actually has for mass import and export and mass editing. It's pretty robust. So for those of you guys that were wondering about that, I hope that was helpful. Any questions or concerns about what we talked about today? I'll leave it open for questions for just a sec, and then we'll finish up. But again, remember, I'm not really recommending this to you guys if you're kind of new to using Volusion. Do it the good old-fashioned way. Don't make any mistakes, and just one at a time. This stuff is all, maybe just a little bit more advanced. And I know you guys are capable of this, but let's not overcomplicate it if we don't have to. While I'm waiting on some thoughts or questions to come through, let me just turn off the recording. If you're seeing this recorded, I hope this training helped you out.